Welcome, everyone. Okay. I'm thrilled to be joined by Yossie Hollander, software entrepreneur, philanthropist, and longtime anti-Semitism fighter, also a neighbor. From AI-driven amplification to coordinated campaigns by extremist groups, the internet has become a battlefield. Online, hate can and does translate into real-world threats. Today, we'll explore how anti-Semitism operates online, what platforms are doing, and how technology can help us fight back. Hi, Yossie.
Good morning.
Okay, so you've been fighting anti-Semitism for many years and refer to it as a soft war. From your perspective, how has anti-Semitism evolved online over the past 2 decades, and what makes the digital battlefield unique compared to the past?
I think the enemies of the United States, Israel, and the Jews have identified our weakness. And our weakness is what I call the soft war. Soft war is, of course, online as well. It's controlling our mind. But it's also, soft war means going to a demonstration, okay? So just to give you an example, we had the UCLA campus riots. The guards that were actually keeping people from moving in and out were actually a radical communist group from San Diego financed by the Chinese. Radical Hispanic, okay, group, okay? Communist group from San Diego. So the world right now is divided into 4 groups that are fighting Israel and America and the West, and that is Chinese, Russians, Iranians, and Qataris. And we identified our weaknesses. We know how to shoot. I mean, easy. I mean, we put a bunker buster bomb. Wow, great, okay? But they are controlling, right now, they're actually fighting to break us all from within, okay? They're behind every controversy that we now exist. I'll just give you an example. 50% of the talkbacks in Israel, okay, are Iranian AI bots. So when you see people in Israel argue, and especially the more heated ones, okay, that are kind of trying to raise all the tension in Israel, it's the Iranian. Trump discusses daily with Iranian bots. We are in a match, they are running, they have units, okay? It's about 10,000 people in Iran, about 500,000 in China, okay, I don't know how many in Russia, that are fighting the West in the soft war in all aspects of it, some of it online, but it's in every aspect.
Thank you. What do you think people still misunderstand about how online anti-Semitism actually works and spreads?
So, first of all, they started way ahead of that, okay? So I'll give you an example. They were thinking about it 20, 30 years ago, and we were asleep. It's not that we don't have the technology, we're just asleep. Let's look at Wikipedia, okay? They started having editors work against Israel and against America 20-something years ago. Now there are senior editors that basically control Wikipedia, okay? And they have people working under them. A senior editor could be a professor in a Norwegian university, getting paid from Venezuela by crypto, and paying, and has 20 students that work every day, 12 hours, okay? Getting paid for it, of course, to write all kinds of things against America and against Israel. So when you look at the Wikipedia, they just canceled somebody called Eskandar, that's his code name. The Wikipedia finally canceled him. That person alone inserted 50,000 anti-Israel, anti-Jewish changes to Wikipedia. Okay? They've been working. This is not technology, but they're using the technology because Wikipedia is now the source of your knowledge, okay? The source of the knowledge of the AI models. They are working all behind the scenes. I'll give you an example. This is not just about Jews, okay? The entry for George Washington was changed in the last 2 years 50 times. I don't remember that something happened with George Washington lately. Okay? So they are into a war that is against everything that we believe as Americans, as Jews, as Westerners, as Israelis. It is not just about us. It's about we are only part of the bigger game that they're going after.
Thank you. You talked about bots. We've been seeing, highly coordinated campaigns online, from All Eyes on Rafah to starvation campaigns in Gaza. Extremist groups are sophisticated in using tech. How are they leveraging AI, bots, or social networks to spread anti-Semitism?
So we're not talking about the solution, we're talking right now about the problem. We may get to solutions, but for example, AI models need to be trained. So AI models, they look at information and they train. We found out that today, majority of the decision on AI, the most important factors are what's written in Wikipedia, and we already discussed what's happening in Wikipedia. And Wikipedia is basically now anti-Semitic and anti-American. They also use Reddit. So I can go today into Reddit and put some crazy things. I'm going to say that the Mandani is a right-wing conspiracy. I'm going to multiply it with some bots, okay, and keep writing it, etc., so it will have some volume. I can tell you that tomorrow when you ask ChatGPT about Mandani, it will tell you that he might be from the right wing. That's how crazy this is right now going, okay?
And so just in case, I'm sorry for cutting you off, just in case people don't know what Reddit is.
Reddit is another social media platform, okay? But it's relatively open for the search engine to go after. So it's convenient for the search engine to look in the information there. That's why it is used like that. Wikipedia is also open. It's very convenient for them to go after that. That's one of the reasons, by the way, that Elon Musk created an alternative to Wikipedia to try to fight that, okay? Because basically they're controlling the information war. And so basically, they are trying to control with the mind of our kids. 25% of the teachers in the United States today prepare their lesson plan just with ChatGPT. It doesn't matter there's been a committee that looked at the history books and did whatever they needed to do, or the language book, etc. It doesn't matter. It's easier to type something, have the lesson plan prepared for the teacher, and ChatGPT basically tells them what to do. And what it tells them to do is anti-American first and anti-Jewish and anti-Israel second. It starts, first of all, with anti-American, because that is the goal. So we have a situation, they're fighting for the minds of our kids. They studied in universities. The university war, they won. Okay? As somebody said today, don't send your kids to university. I agree. Okay? They're going to corrupt their mind, unless it's mathematics and stuff like that. But other than that, engineering, other than that, they're just going to corrupt their mind. So you want to think about it now, they're going after schools, they're going after the minds of the adults, because also people, when you go in and you search for Google, it's now an AI engine that answers, that has been trained the same way we discussed. They define safe sources in the AI training model, okay? Safe source is New York Times, okay, Guardian, BBC, and Haaretz. I'm serious. Unsafe source is Fox News. Guys, this is the AI training model today of this world. One serious organization with a lot of Holocaust testimony approached some of the AI guys and suggested access to the data. They say we can't access Holocaust testimonies because they're unreliable. Guys, we have a problem, and the AI that you think is sort of agnostic is totally controlled today from outside the United States.
I just want to add to the AI situation. So what's changed with AI and deepfake technologies? How they're making it easier to create believable anti-Semitic content?
Well, today, I'll give you an example. There was a snowstorm in Canada, okay? Immediately, and in the northeast of the United States, people came out with how people in Gaza are freezing, with pictures of snow and videos of kids playing in the snow, okay? This is what deepfakes does to you, okay? And there's no way to stop it right now, because I can create the same thing, by the way. You can create it at home and distribute it if you have enough distribution. The difference is that they have a distribution engine. So for example, when Nick Fuentes publishes a tweet, we had now a new research found out that in the first half hour, he's getting bigger pushback on the social media than 10 times more than Elon Musk, which is the #1 person on the social media. Why? Because it's all AI bots. Once the AI bots push him up in the algorithm, now it pushed around for everybody else. So we think it's organic. I disagree a little bit about what was said there are a lot of elements organic in the conservative movement, but a lot of those elements are not organic. They're coming from the outside, and the push definitely is coming from the outside. The money, Qatar, it's Tucker Carlson, okay? This is not, and he's Russian also. I mean, he went to interview Putin. Who interviews Putin these days, okay?
We know online anti-Semitism translates to physical threats. How should communities, governments, and tech platforms collaborate to prevent these risks?
There is no disconnect between what's happening in online platform and what's happening in the physical platform, okay? October 8th, a few things happened, right? Suddenly attack on Israel, on the social media, on everything else, but also campus demonstration. Remember in Australia, for example, they went on the bridge and says, gas the Jews. Do you think that happened just because something happened? Every campus anti-Israel campaign is organized and coordinated on one Telegram channel. And in Telegram, it's very difficult to know who's behind it. And we do know that some of the organizers are in the Gulf State time zone, which tells you that's what's happening, controlling the campus riot. So there's no difference. They're all intercoordinated as part of a bigger campaign, okay? The same people that went to demonstrate against Israel were demonstrating against the capture of Maduro. It's the same thing, the same channel, the same tracing, okay? It is all against the United States.
You know, at Talk Israel Academy, we empower young content creators to post more positive content about Israel in a very, I would say, authentic, positive, non-political way. They do an amazing job, but it's obviously just one example. What can individuals and community members, or even content creators, do to help stop the spread?
So there's what you can do. There are people who are a content creator, and what the government can do. There's different issues. So first of all, the government of the West, which I think the most important one right now are the United States of Israel, need to start fighting this like a war. So when Israel bombed and the United States bombed Iran, nobody killed one general that is responsible for the software, okay? We didn't blow up any data center. By the way, in the last few days when there were the riots in Iran, a bunch of website and social media users that were pushing the Scottish independent movement disappeared from the web. Okay? The same thing happened. Those same people disappeared during the 12 days that Israel attacked Iran. So they're involved in everything against the West, and therefore government needs to start putting units that start fighting this. Without that, we're fighting billions of dollars on the other side, we will lose. The government needs to do it. Content creator, it's a whole different. I don't know how many content creators are in this room. I'll tell you what you can do.
You never know.
What?
You never know.
But then approach me later. But it's a bigger discussion. But what you can do is pay attention. You have got kids, okay? See what they're learning. Don't let them use AI. Let them use AI only explaining them what they're seeing and what they're doing, because you need to learn how to use AI. You can't stay out of it. But be around them, okay? You've got to watch what's taught in school. When people taught anti-American things in school, you get a lot of support to stop it and remove that item or that teacher in. So don't focus necessarily on the anti-Israel. Every anti-Israel, anti-Jewish teacher will also teach anti-American, because it's come with the same menu. So go after that. That is, don't stay quiet on that. It's quite amazingly, parents have huge influence in schools, okay? But you can also complain. So when you go to the principal, sometimes the principal will kind of brush you off. But you go to the PTA, or you're sitting on the PTA, that's a whole different issue. Or if you complain to ADL or somebody else, or to IAC that also have a group, you'll be surprised what happens when they get it from more places. They don't want to be in the news. No principal wants to be in the news, okay? So just keep raising it up. Don't be quiet about it. Your child will get hurt more if you don't do anything. So that's the answer.
Okay, that's very important. I do want to leave some time for Q&A, so please. Yes.
And the question? So I can tell you that people are now aware about what's happening with the LLM models, okay? The question is how to fight what's happening. I'm trying to simplify it, okay? What is blue and white? I don't know what blue and white is. No, the LLM don't work like that. Okay, first of all, people don't know what it is, blue and white, and it doesn't matter what the Jews think. It matters which are the most popular ones in the market. Okay, so when you Google, it's whatever Google is using. Okay, and when now Siri decided to use Apple, that's what everybody on Apple will get. So it is the important thing is. That's what I said, you should watch your own student, your own kids, etc., what they're doing with AI, okay? And don't leave it to them. They'll fall into very big holes, okay? The AI learn what they do, they learn what they like, and they'll direct them to various areas. This is a very dangerous psychological game going on. What people are starting to wake up, not enough yet, in terms of, for example, there is no discussion of the LLM. I haven't seen yet a discussion in Congress about LLM education, okay? We need to talk to your congressman, say this is something you need to raise because they're brainwashing our kids, okay? You have the power to create this discussion. This discussion eventually will create something. Trust me, the Meta of the world are scared of the government, okay? Because we're in a tipping point. The government can go one day against them, okay? So in a serious way. So I think you raise it, you go for congressmen, you raise it yourself, you talk to teachers, you talk to principals. Don't be quiet. You'll be surprised how much power you have.
Yes.
I don't think they develop immune. Are you immune to advertising? No, you're not. You think you are. You're seeing it 10 times, it's in your brain, it doesn't matter. That's why advertising works like that. You are not immune to advertising. There is no study whatsoever that shows otherwise there would be zero money for advertising. There's a lot of money in advertising. So I don't think so. You're not, people don't develop immune. You think you do. It doesn't. Lady here.
Yes.
Jews and grand strategy? No, I think the individuals and NGOs, each one, as Adam said, can specialize in one area and they're limited in their power. I cannot kill somebody, okay? I cannot wiretap somebody. This is power that exists in the state level, okay? What can I do against China as an individual, okay? No, I can take care of my family, my congressman, my environment, my board of education. Those are the things me as an individual can get. I think governments like the government of Israel, and we need to push it, we can push it through our congressmen or our senators, etc., and other elected officials, but government needs to get organized because it is to protect our own. If they take over the minds of the people, we lost the war. So, first of all, I was supposed to be joined by a Meta representative here that would have actually give you their all issue, etc. No, she went back, she was here, and she went back to Israel because her kids, she thought something was starting and she didn't want to leave her kids alone. So, I can understand that. But first of all, leave the Jewish issue alone. We're so focused on the Jewish issue. The bigger issues for Meta, it's not the Jewish issue, okay? They have department, they have complaints, they have stuff like that. You can move things. But in general, if 30% of the traffic on the social media is not real, that's not an economic incentive for them to remove it, okay? For all of them. It has nothing to do with Jews or not Jews, okay? 30% of the traffic is not real. Most of it has no relations to Israel. So they don't have an interest, which is the biggest problem, okay? The second thing is that AI race right now is so fast. If you put limitation on yourself, whatever they are, they're going to be dangerous. It's dangerous not just on this issue, it's dangerous on the machines deciding things for us, etc. Where do we stop? Everybody's racing so fast and there's so much money, everybody's afraid to put limitations on themselves. And I think that's a danger to society in general. And I don't know how to solve it right now, but I think it's way beyond the Jewish-Israeli problem, okay?
We have time for one more question.
No, a question, please, no stories. Ask question.
What's the question? What can we do to empower our youth?
Well, you'll be surprised. The youth are pretty, they know better what to do, like in social media, etc., if they want to. They understand it actually better than the parents, okay? Sometimes they don't. if you're talking about the Jewish youth, okay, is, I think, getting together, okay, getting together in program, getting together, understanding Jewish life, understanding Israel, understanding that will empower them because it creates a feeling of unity and it feels a feeling of protection, okay? We're together, we're together. So being together for a youth is, I think, the strongest thing that you can do. Technically, how to answer something or not to do something, actually there's a course that now IAC is giving about how to answer. It's actually taught in the student track here about how to communicate in social media. But that's the technicality. If you're getting them together, and that's what I think is important.
They can also follow Talk Israel creators, and we would love to help them as well on social media. Last question, and we're gonna talk about some hope, which is also important.
So there is a lot of technologies, there's a lot of people coming out with technologies, and the question is, do they have a financial interest to do it, okay, or not? And you can create a financial interest, okay? If you say that if you knowingly publish something that is wrong, or you knowingly have a bot, okay, that you know that is bots, and they know, okay, that has a law like that will mean there's a penalty, then all those bots will disappear. Okay, but there's no penalty for that today. Okay, so you need laws, but you need to, in order to have laws, you need to have enough members of Congress understand the problem. And I would always concentrate not on the Jewish issue, but on the mind of their kids. Everybody has kids or grandkids. Mostly in Congress, it's kids because they're younger. So that's what I would. Maybe if we're finished, I would like to say one thing. It sounded dire. We've been in worse situations, guys, as Jewish people and as American. And we're not lost, okay? We just have to understand what's going on. We're behind, okay? We're behind in the space race, okay? The Russians had a person in space. We couldn't even figure out how to get a rocket in the air. We won the race to the moon, okay? Sorry, we can do it, okay? We just have to get organized and do it, okay? And we have to do it both in an individual level, in the small civil right like Adam and I are doing, okay, activating it, because that usually feeds into the bigger system later on. But we also need the government to start understanding what's going on. The other side understands it very well. They've been doing it for 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the great questions.